So a few days ago, the new champion Hwei came out and I decided to try to learn him in just 10 hours. This is going to be harder than any other champion I've tried because not only does he have 13 different moves, but I've also historically sucked at mages. Normally to start things off, I would look up the most common build and runes, but considering this champion just came out, I was on my own here. So the mythics I tried were Ludens and Leandres, and the runes I tried were Arcane Comet, Dark Harvest, and First Strike. Ludens felt the best against squishy teams because I could burst them, and Leandres was way better against teams with more HP. Arcane Comet was great for poke and lane, especially as support. First Strike gave you a lot of extra burst damage and great scaling, and Dark Harvest felt weak most of the game but would go off in teamfights sometimes. So I went into my first game and died pretty much immediately. Okay, so, bit of a disaster. The issue with new champions is most content out there makes them look absolutely broken. This gave me the impression I would steamroll everybody, but that was just not the case. Especially when I had to spend so much time figuring out what my champion did that sometimes I would just walk up too far and die. But eventually things started to turn around in my first game. Die, please! I'm so good! But even though I was getting the hang of the champion a little bit, in big team fights I would still panic and kinda just press keys at random. Go crazy! Holy shit! Am I gonna die? Who's dying? I'm pressing buttons! I don't know what the fuck I did there. So I guess this first game was a success? And game 2 didn't start off much better. You see, this champion has a few issues for me. First, I'm used to tanks and bruisers top lane, so I'm just not used to this playstyle. Second, sometimes when I panic in fights, I'll press a button more than once because some small part of me thinks that it'll make the ability go off faster or something. But with Hwei, that is very punishing because sometimes you'll just change forms and then use the wrong ability. And third, when you're in one of your forms, you can't ult. So there were so many times this video where I pressed my R thinking it would ult, but instead it just canceled whatever form I was in and nothing happened. But luckily my team was able to carry me through the early game and I finally started to get some kills. Even though my team carried me this game, I did have a few good plays of my own. Another easy win, I guess. Finally, during my third game, I actually managed to not lose lane for once. And I don't know if she was just tilted or what, but she tried to fight me again and died immediately. A little later, I lost a super close 1v2 in the top lane because of my inexperience. If I had used my WE before I used my QQ, I think I would have had the damage to win here. But in the end, we surrendered this game because the Briar was just super far ahead. Also, our Teemo was new to the jungle, but I don't know if he was actually being serious or just trolling. But luckily for me, game 4 got off to a pretty good start too. And even though I would play fights incredibly poorly, I built up enough of a lead using my poke and early kill that it didn't end up mattering. And yeah, the enemy team surrendered at 19 minutes and this game I actually helped. Now, usually around this time, I would look up YouTube guides to help me improve, but again, those don't really exist yet, so I decided to just play more games. For game 5, I finally decided to go bot lane. Up until now, I went top because it was the easier solo lane to queue up for, but I actually think Hwei is gonna be a really good bot laner in both support and maybe even AD carry. And yeah, bot lane ended up going very well. Even though I didn't play the best, I still managed to win lane and the enemy team decided to surrender in about 16 minutes. Oh my god, that damage is nuts! Game 6 was the second best game of the entire 10 hours, but you're gonna have to wait until the end to see the best one. After the first kill, I managed to get a double kill when Lux got caught out. I had already poked Aphelios down a bit before the fight, and after Nico teleported in, it was just an easy cleanup. Followed by 2 more quick kills. She's just dead. Unfortunately, I did end up dying like an idiot after Blitzcrank pulled me, but at least we ended up going 2 for 2, so the fight wasn't awful. But the game started going downhill after my team lost a huge fight in the jungle. This is gonna be huge! Oh god, no! Fast forward a few minutes and my team got caught out, which led to the enemy team getting Baron. And a few minutes after that, I stopped Kindred from getting Elder Dragon, but when I looked back at our base, it was in shambles. In the end, our tank ended up going in by himself, and without a front line, we weren't able to defend the base. I think this game went great though, and if I was better and more experienced than the champion, I think I might have been able to carry this one. Things crashed back down to earth a little bit in the next game. Yes! Oh God. Shit. Yeah, I just didn't really expect the enemy team's damage and wasn't totally used to being a squishy mage, so I died a few more times than I should have. Luckily, it didn't really matter though. Got him. Got him too. Bot lane was feeling really good. For game 8, I had a Masters player on my team. Excuse me? I mean, okay, I've got to make him proud. I've got to make him proud. And I think it's safe to say I did. Oh! Get him! Get him! No! Anyway, my team was so far ahead, they won a 4v5 without me and just ended the game. What the fuck? So for game 9, let's talk about my biggest issue with this champion real quick after this kind of embarrassing ult. I missed? How did that miss? Wait. How did that miss? You know, what bugs me about this champion sometimes is that if you press your ability right here, right? Like I press my Q, my R isn't actually my ult. My R cancels the Q. So even though I thought I ulted earlier in the fight, I pressed my like Q or whatever. I don't know exactly what I pressed. And then I canceled it with my R instead of actually using my R. Obviously, in order for a champion to have 13 different moves, there need to be multiple inputs. But this is an issue that I've never had before in any other champion, so it was a very frustrating part of this 10 hours. Anyway, we won this game, but I was pretty tilted, so I got food and took a little break. And after a much needed break, I was ready to start winning. I lost even more. The game didn't start off bad though. But out of nowhere, things just started falling apart and I started dying to Briar and Fizz over and over and over again. I will admit, the Swain did outplay the fuck out of me in one of these fights though. Oh, he flashed it. And in the end, it definitely could have been worse, but it definitely wasn't great either. I think game 11 can best be summarized with this fight right here. Yeah, we literally surrendered right after that fight out of pure embarrassment. In my defense though, I had 100% kill participation, but yeah, this game was kind of ugly. And my rough patch continued into my next game too. And I'll admit, I was starting to get a little tilted. At this point, it was after 1 AM and I knew I just needed to go to sleep. My decisions were worse, I was missing even more skill shots than usual, and I just wasn't having fun at this point, even if we won. And as you can probably see by the lighting change, I got on the next day ready to win. Eventually there was this big dragon fight where not only did we kill all of them, but we also got dragon right after. To wrap the game up, I went mid and we won another huge fight. I'm not sure if they were just super tilted about losing 2 fights back to back, or if someone on the enemy team just needed to leave or something, but after that fight, they just surrendered for some reason. At this point, after 9 hours of gameplay and a good night's sleep, I was feeling pretty confident on Hwei and I really started to understand his damage a lot better. He's dead. And then, disaster struck.
A summoner has disconnected.
So yeah, we ended up losing this game, but I still did pretty well, so it doesn't really matter. And now for the best game of the whole challenge. For those of you who are still here, thank you so much for making it this far in the video, and let me know how good you think Hwei is gonna be in the future. Anyway, the game started off great for the bot lane. My orange support was an absolute monster, and basically just spoon-fed me kills in lane. And we continued to dominate lane. You're just dead, right? I'll just kill her. Oh, huge! Huge! Unfortunately, after Yon split pushed and destroyed most of our base, my 2 tanky boys decided to start a desperate fight in the mid lane that did not go very well at all. Luckily, Orange survived, and little did I know, this would spark one of the greatest games I have ever played. First was Orange's miraculous defense. Then our Yi went AFK. Then, with the help of Teemo Shrooms, my team was able to win a fight while I cleared minions in our base. And just when things started going our way, the enemy team stole Elder Dragon from us. Oh yeah, they also got Ocean Soul a few minutes earlier. But just when it all seemed lost, somehow we were able to defend the base 4v5 even though the enemy team had fucking Elder. Also, apparently Vi rage quit at about 47 minutes because she just didn't want to play the game anymore. Then the enemy team tried to TP into our base and end the game. Ignore my ult going the wrong way here, please. And after Draven lost a 1v1 to our support Ornn and we got Elder Dragon, the enemy team finally surrendered after 53 minutes of crazy League of Legends gameplay. If you like this video, be sure to check out one of my other 10-hour challenges by clicking on the playlist above.